Greetings and welcome to World of Warships with Ross Algar closed beta testing. Today we're going to review the Tier 4 carriers of the US Navy and the Imperial Japanese Navy. Here before we have the Langley. Now this was one of the first carriers actually made by the United States Navy, converted from a cruiser. Just highlight here the actual technical specifications of this here. I can get my mouse to cooperate. Here we are. Some historical data here. The first U.S. Navy carrier converted from the USS Jupiter, a collier class. That means it's a coal hauling vessel. Came out of the Norfolk shipyard in 1922. 1924, joined the Pacific Battle Fleet, where she was used for Navy pilot training for the following 12 years, and then in 37 was converted again, this time for aircraft transport. In 42, she was attacked by Japanese aircraft while transporting P-40E warplanes. Took 5 bomb hits and they scuttled her so that she would not fall into enemy hands. Now, there is a bit of difference here between the Tier 4 carrier of the U.S. Navy and the Japanese carrier here. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at our tech tree. Here's your Langley, and it comes available after your experience points, which, if I remember correctly, were about 5,000 or so. So it wasn't too terrible. So you had to play a few games in your South Carolina before this became available. As you can see here, there's a sale going on, and I'm not sure exactly what that entails, as I didn't check the news feed before I came into the game. But if we compare this here with the Tier 4, the Hosho now, it too was converted from a cruiser, but this was actually done in collaboration with the English naval authorities in 1920. Sister ship, which was canceled after the Naval Treaty of 1922, and the Hosho underwent a number of modifications. In 41, the ship distantly covered the main carrier force together with battleships during the attack on Pearl Harbor, and in 42 was classified as a training aircraft carrier used for pilot trainings in Seto Island Sea. She was actually survived the war and was used as a repatriation vessel afterwards, and finally decommissioned in 1947. Now, with that said, both are Tier 4, but they're vastly different. Let's go back here to the Langley. If we actually were to pull this up here, what we see in our modules now, at the stock ship, we have 1 fighter squadron and 1 torpedo squadron. If you go back and you compare it to the Imperial Japanese Navy, you have 1 fighter squadron, 2 torpedo bombers. Well, that's interesting. Why are we giving the Japanese 1 more squadron than the US? Well, actually, in all honesty, if you take a closer look, it really comes out even. If we go back here and you see that the actual number of ships, or our hangar capacity, is 24 units, and even in the 1941 you'll have 24 units. Well, how many planes are actually in a squadron? Well, that's where you need to come here and really take a close look. With the Imperial Japanese Navy, their fighter squadrons consist of 4 aircraft, and 4 aircraft in each squadron of the torpedo bombers. Now you compare that to the United States Langley, and what you'll see here is where the difference is. Now, while the 1929 ship will also have 24 ships, again, you have 1 less torpedo squadron, and even if you were to upgrade, you would still have 1 less torpedoes, or you would still have 1 less squadron, but you would have 2 squadrons of torpedo bombers as opposed to 2 bombers and 1 fighter in the Imperial Japanese Navy. Now, take a look at this. The Langley fighter squadron has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fighters and 6 torpedo bombers in their squadron. 12 aircraft, double that, and that's 24. So there's a little bit difference between both ships and how they'll play, and we'll demonstrate that here. But let's go ahead and take a little closer look at the Langley. Now, currently I have the Langley at the 1944, which means I can carry 6 more planes than previously. I've gone ahead and I've upgraded the capability of my fighter squadrons. Whereas before my loadout was 88, I had an average damage of 30, I had a speed of 109 knots, and a survivability of 560. With the Curtiss F6C1, I now can do 115 knots, still 30 damage per second, 66 loadout, a little less, and a survivability of 760. The torpedo bombers on your stock ship can do 89 knots, can do a fair amount of damage at 5,900 max damage, survivability of 610. The upgrade version, you now have a cruise speed of still 90 knots, still max damage 5,900, but a survivability of 800, so they're a little more durable. Now, you do have the option, as I pointed out earlier, of removing one of the fire squadrons and gaining a torpedo bomber squadron. But when you consider that, depending how you play, and it's really a matter of play style, if you're going to be more offensive, then you're probably better off going ahead and getting that extra squadron. Because look at the AA capability here, though, and this is one of the reasons why I did not. Even in the Langley, in the 1944 version, you have 20 AA mounts compared to the 1929 version, in which you didn't have any. So if you're going to play the stock vessel, you don't want to get rid of that fighter squadron right away. You're going to need it. If, however, you decide you want to play more offense and rely more on your ships, especially if you're going to be often in a cruiser in a division with other players who are going to provide anti-aircraft fire, then it's probably worth it. But other than that, your survivability is 40. You got 33,700 hit points. You have 30 units total, so you can use those up if needed. Now, my particular playstyle, I like having the fighter squadron to chase around torpedo bombers or dive bombers for the purposes of defense. If I can knock out a carrier's complete stock of fighters, then the player on the other team is just absolutely useless at that point. All he is just a floating target. But it's harder to do than you might expect. Now here in the carriers, of course, it's a little different. But let's first take a look at the comparison with the Imperial Japanese Navy. I'll go into our Hosho here. Now, as I had pointed out earlier, the fighter squadrons are compiled a little differently. Again, here, you could upgrade to canceling out that fighter squadron for an additional 3 torpedo bombers, and this is highly effective. If you can triangulate torpedo fire, then it's very, very difficult for ships to get out of the way. But again, I like to play a little bit of defense because of the type of games I get in. So what we're going to do here is, after we've compared these two vessels, we're going to actually play each of them, and you'll see how this game in a carrier is far different than playing the destroyer, the cruiser, or the battleship. In fact, the game changes dramatically, much in the same way that an artillery player in World of Tanks, the game will change. So we'll go ahead and let's do first the Langley. And I'll go ahead and queue us up here. I'll pause the recording briefly, and I'll be right back. Okay, looks like we're actually moving pretty good here. Not very long, I had to wait just 20 seconds. Let's see what we have here now. Okay, we are up against a Hosho, and okay, it's a pretty even match so far. Looks like matchmaker's being kind today. Got a couple of divisions on our side. Now this is the New Dawn map in domination mode. So our objective now will be to try to find battleships, find the carriers, sink them, and find enemy fighters and down them. Now our position here will be up at A8, and our other carriers down here at B9. I'm going to show you a few things once we actually get into the map here about how this game is dramatically different from what your normal play is. So let's go ahead. I'm going to review here what we have against us. Well, they've got a St. Louis. That could be dangerous if he gets close. The South Carolina and the Wyoming are both very lethal. Okay, so here's the top-down view that you immediately start. As you see here, 1 is your ship, and you can actually plot where you want to go. Now, you do have a tactical display here. If you press the M key, you actually are given an entire panoramic view here of the battle map. So what I want to do here is actually want to come over here towards this island. So I'm going to set my pilot course here. The autopilot mode is enabled. Okay, we're going to launch our first fighter squadron. And I'm going to send him over here. So I'm going to hit the F key. That puts him, gives the order for them to take off. I'm going to give them orders to set a waypoint here for them. And then, oh, I'm in the Hosho. I was supposed to be in the Langley. Oh, well. Well, you get a review of the Hosho then. And we're going to actually send our torpedo bombers nearby. Now, I've gone ahead and queued up that team. Let's go ahead to fighter squadron. Getting them on the flight deck. And we're going to send them over here. So, one of the key things that is concerning me now is the absence of anybody going over this way, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to come over here. It seems like everybody on this map in domination mode always wants to go for A or for B. They always want to leave C by itself. I don't know why. Maybe they think that in fact that the other team is more over that way than they are over this way, which is not often the case. But nevertheless, that's what I have to deal with. Now, my friendly carrier has decided to go ahead, and he has 3 torpedo squadrons, it appears. He's actually bringing them down here in the cover of them. Oh, looky here. We have... So, now I have a choice. Do I want to attack that fighter squadron? Which I probably want to take a closer look at what I'm dealing with here. So I'm going to scroll down over this way a bit and zoom in. See what kind of fighters they are. Or is that a... Alright, well, I'm going to have to act here. Because he's coming in on... I mean, let's take a closer look at the tactical map. Alright, we are following. And we're going to engage. Oh, we shot some down. Alright, now we've got a target down here. Oh, look at this. Let's get our carriers, or torpedo planes down here. After these. Now, if you notice when you do this, that now I just got command that the fighter squadron has successfully engaged the enemy. And I'm going to go send them after some of these torpedo bombers over here. Okay. Alright, second squadron is closing. Now we're taking some fire from the ships. So far we're doing alright. Now I want to show you one of the tactical things here. I'm going to go ahead and click on 3. We're going to go back to the map mode here. And we're going to come down and watch the actual battle. We got 3 battleships moving in. Now what we're going to do, we're going to target this lead one, and I'm going to triangulate my fire here. So it's going to make this very, very difficult. Okay. Here we go. Now I can't see him because of the fog, but I still know he's there. Will we hit him? No, we missed. Well, there's a very good possibility we'll get some hits on that other battleship. Oh, just petered out. That's too bad. I think we'll get some hits here, maybe 1 or 2, maybe not. Oh. Well, that was an absolute failure. So now my torpedoes are coming back. Where is my second squadron here? There they are. They're on their way back. They're completely out of ammo. And it's starting to get a little hot over here. We're at a full stop. And I want to come in just a little bit closer to the island here, so I'm protected. That destroyer up there could be a problem. Alright, as you can see, my fighters are recovering here. My torpedo bombers have landed in one. Okay. Alright, stop. Got the collision alert here. They're slowing down. Alright, now go ahead and get them in the queue here. Go back to our tactical map, look at the situation. We're going to send these guys right over here. Same idea. I want to get them set up for a decent run. Oh god, there's that. I need to alert the team to this. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. Now you gotta watch what you're doing. Let's give him his waypoint there. I want to be careful. Now I'm doing something absolutely completely. Actually, let's do this. Let's go over here. Alright, here we go. Let's see. Oh, we won. Look at that. Well, you can see the problems with carriers right away now. Let's go back. Let's take a click. All I managed to do was shoot down 7 planes, so I really didn't do a whole lot. Yet I still earned about 308 experience. Fortunately, I didn't take any damage, but I really didn't do any damage either. I did manage to delay Torpedo Attack, and I knocked out some fighters, but that's it. So this was a pretty unsuccessful adventure in my Hosho, which I usually do quite better than this, but let's go back to the port here, and we'll load up the Langley. I'll go ahead and pause it this time, and we'll be right back. Okay, now we're finally in the Langley, as opposed to the Hosho, which was a mistake the first time. I had intended for you to see the gameplay and the differences, but that's alright. You've seen how difficult it is to manage a torpedo attack, even when you have multiple torpedo bombers. And to their credit, the Imperial Japanese Navy, or the enemy team, where I'd have to take a closer look. I think those were, well, no, they didn't have any Japanese battleships, come to think of it. They were South Carolinas, if I recall. I'd have to go back and look at the replay. But to their credit, they relied on team tactics, and they used a well-placed smoke screen to block their movements so that I could not calculate properly the trajectory angle for the fighter squadrons. So it was well played on their part. Now, here again, we've got another good match. We're going to have a little more firepower on our side if this guy has all torpedo bombers. So let's go ahead and enter the battle. So once again, we're going to play this a little more defensively. And we're going into the battle here. Same map, different side. Now, if you notice, as I mentioned earlier, that a lot of people won't go that way when they're on this side because they assume that everybody's going to be coming this way. Well, once again, we're all down here, and guess which way we're all going to go? Exactly, A and B. For whatever reason, people don't like going up per se for some reason. So I'm in a good spot here. I'm going to sit tight for a little bit. Let me go to the tactical map, and I'm going to send my fighter squadron over here. Now, I like to go to the center of the map purely out of preference. And the reason being is that once I'm in the center, then I can respond to any part of the map rather quickly. And some of it, often they will go for B, and I'll be in a position to do something about it or spot them well before the destroyers are in a position to bring them in their line of fire, and so they can plan their tactics accordingly. So part of my job as a carrier, of course, is to scout, not just engage enemy aircraft or torpedo bomb. Now, you're actually not going to see dive bombers until you get into the Tier 5. Oh, nice. If you just notice the chat here, he just... Oh. I couldn't resist that. Oh. That is too funny. Alright. There's bomb sign. Okay, potato, whatever. Alright, so now we're going to wait. We've got a destroyer who is now capturing B, and we had a glimpse of that. Look at a battleship coming up that way. And I want to wait till, there we go. Let's see what else he's doing here. Let's go ahead and make a torpedo attack on him. Although, in all honesty, we don't really have him. And we're going to move our fighter squadron over here too, in case it's an ambush. Oh, look at that. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to send him down here. The fighter squadron will be delayed. Now, it is possible to actually plan your torpedo attack from up here. But we're going to go ahead and into the tactical map because I want to get a close view of the situation. We're going to bring my view display up here. Now this is the one aspect of the game that is very hard to... Alright, make our torpedo run. Alright, the torpedo bombers are on the run. Let's go get him. Come on, let's get some hits. Okay, we got a good spread. He's trying to get away. He's not going to make it. He's going to take one or two or three. 1, 2, 3. Fantastic. We managed to get some damage. Alright, let's go back to my tactical display here. Where's my fighter squadron? We have found the enemy carrier. Look up here. Oh, that's fantastic. We're starting to down some planes now. We're taking some damage though. I've lost 2 fighters. But we've managed to take 2 torpedo bombers out, so I'll take that. Even trade. So now I'm going to bring my carrier up here so we can reload quickly. And I'm going to keep an eye on this. If he comes close, we're going to start getting him down. Now that's a control left click against our targets there. Let's go back up here. How are we doing? Okay. Alright, we're going to go ahead and call off our fighters. We're starting to lose there. Now, until that fighter squadron goes completely destroyed, I'm not going to be able to replace him. Well, let's have him engage that, keep that fighter squadron busy for a bit. Now, I'm probably going to go down in a blaze of glory, but at least I'll get a fresh stock of planes available. Yep. Let's go ahead and stop. Now if you notice, I'm actually going to change the trajectory while here in the tactical display, so I can plan my angle of attack. I'll go ahead and launch him. Now we've got the carriers on the defensive, which is good. Meanwhile, I'm going to send my ship up here. So I can evade detection from those destroyers down here. I know sometimes planes just can't move fast enough. Now if you notice, the carrier is already on the run. And the destroyer is probably going to take him out. Come on, get him, get him, get him, get him. Alright, so now we're going to target this carrier up here. And send our fighters after that one. Come on, boys. How are we doing here? Okay, we survived the enemy flak. Oh, perfect. So now he's going to have no choice, since he's running very close to the line, which is very, very dangerous, to turn in. So we're going to angle our attack so that it's going to make it difficult for him to avoid fire or be able to maneuver out of the way. He has recalled his aircraft. We're still chasing him. Come on, get him, get him, get him, get him, get him. Oh gosh, the suspense is killing me. Alright, here we go. We're on our attack run. We're taking fire. Torpedoes away. Oh, this is going to be glorious. Now see, he can't get out of there. Oh, he took two, and now he's under fire from one of our battleships here. Okay, he's going to go down real quick. Now look how fast this game just turned. Let's go back to our tactical map here, assess the situation. 2 really isn't doing, second squadron isn't really doing much right now. So my next plan of attack, and I'm going to scale back the throttle here to half. My next plan of attack will probably be to assist with A. I don't have to worry about carriers here for the time being, because that carrier will go down very, very shortly. So now I can use him to scout out any other. Now there's 1, 2. So there's 2 ships that are unaccounted for. Where are they? Let's go take a look. Let's send our fighter squadron over here. Okay, there's 1. And we've got an enemy ship over here. And the battleship was down here. So we're going to send this guy down here so we can spot him. Now I want to try and stay out of range of that fighter, his anti-air ability. Okay, I have recovered my fighter bomber. We're going to get them ready. Keep those cruisers running. Okay, there he is. want to take a look at the target here. Well, I didn't want to do that. Let's go ahead and take 3 here. Go out of this, and we're going to close in on that view here and see what kind of health he's sitting at. Okay, he's half damaged. Looks like he's running aground. No, he's going to try to get out of there. Looks like he's going to try to turn to the right. So we're going to, if he tries to go either way, we're going to do that, because he's going to have to back up. Okay, fighters are closing in. Let's kind of alright, he's trying to get away. He knows he's in trouble. Actually, we could probably do this a lot quicker this way. Alright, he's turning. We're going to come down here. Change the angle of our attack. Come on. Yep, can't do it. Oh well. We're committed. Come on. Well, I think we got a good spread here. Let's go. Oh, look at that. 2 more torpedo hits. Not nearly enough. But we did harass him. Well, we've got a cruiser. Let's see what the situation is here. How's he doing? So the game is starting to turn around against us, and that's not good. Although, if we get that cruiser out, we've got a chance. Now, if you notice, our friendly carrier here is over here guarding the cap, and that cruiser is so badly damaged that it might be well worth it to actually move in and engage with our secondaries. Although that would only be worth it if in fact we didn't have any squadrons left to put up. But in a desperate situation, you might as well go all out and go for broke. Let's go ahead and see if we can't spot that enemy battleship. Move him over here. Come back to our tactical display. Okay, keep him spotted. Now, if I plan this right, the next torpedo attack should sink that battleship. Okay, fighter squadron has been recovered. Continue to scout that ship. Alright, going after the battleship. Plan our attack here. It looks like he's going to try to come this way, so we're going to... Oh, is my friend going to get him before I do? I will be so upset. Well, he's only got 3 torpedoes. Maybe 1 will hit, 2. Okay, 1 more torpedo and this guy's done. He's turning. Come on. Oh, yes, 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 yes. Two carriers against one enemy cruiser. And the question is, what is his health? Now, we just about got this. We're going to keep him busy here. Alright, now this is serious. Okay. Oh, he's getting out of there. Good, 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 good. Alright, and that's game. Unfortunately, we didn't able to finish him out, and he beat us to it. So, but we did do quite a bit of damage. 10 torpedo hits, 4 enemy aircraft shot down, 1 ship sunk. And if we look at the team score, we did 833 experience, which puts us right in about in the middle, and that's pretty respectable. Now, look at this. That one Wyoming did quite a bit, and that Phoenix had 4 kills, and that's what in turn carried his team to the end, and he very much deserved that win. So congratulations to Fenris on a game well played. But let's take a look at what we did now. We caused flooding for 1,285 damage. We had 3 critical hits against that South Carolina, 5 critical hits which sunk the Wyoming, and we had 2 penetrations here against the enemy Langley. Now, torpedo hits 42,480 damage. Now you can see if you score massive amounts of torpedo hits against your enemy opponent's battleships and carriers, that the game can turn around quite quickly. But as a result of his excellent play on the enemy team, he won the game to his credit. And it probably would have been better for both of us to go up to sea together and defend that cap, because while he would still be able to bring a number of guns on one of us, our secondaries would be able to engage him if we were close enough, and we could have harassed him with torpedo bombers, but we probably would have very well taken each other out in the process. So it's very hard to say what we should or should not have done at that point. Overall, very good game. Unfortunately, it was a defeat. But that is your carriers in your Tier 4 Langley and Hosho. And as you can see, it's quite a different tactical game than being on the surface and engaging enemy vessels. That's it for today. If you have any questions or anything you would like to see in World of Warships Closed Beta Test, please leave me some comments on my YouTube channel or in the CIA website if you're a member of CIA. Again, thank you so much for watching, and you have a great day.